So you've been studying for weeks. You're feeling nervous but excited, and now the big day is just around the corner. The Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, or ASVAB, test day. But no matter how much you study, test day can still feel like a mystery. What's the check-in process like? How long does it really take? What are the other recruits saying that they wish they'd known before walking in? Welcome to the U.S. Military Test Prep channel from Study.com. My name is Matt, and I'm a U.S. Army vet and an ASVAB test prep expert. Today, we're breaking it all down. You'll get a real sense of what to expect from the moment you wake up that morning to the minute you walk out, test finished. Are you ready? Let's get into it. The ASVAB is a standardized test used by all branches of the U.S. military. Whether you're going into the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, or Coast Guard, you'll need to take the ASVAB. And it's not just about getting in. It also determines which military jobs that you qualify for. So doing well really matters. The test itself covers a bunch of topics: math, word knowledge, mechanical comprehension, electronics, and more. But today isn't about the content. It's about the actual experience of test day. What happens when you walk into the building? How long does the test take? What should you expect during each section? And how can you prepare for the logistics so that all the focus stays on crushing the test? The truth is, a lot of test day stress doesn't come from the questions. It comes from not knowing what to expect. When you're anxious about the timing, rules, the testing environment, or whether you brought the right ID, it eats up mental energy that you need to focus on the exam. You've already put in the time studying. Maybe you've taken the practice tests, watched the videos, reviewed flashcards, so don't let test day curveballs throw you off. People who walk into the room knowing the routine often do better simply because they're calmer and more focused. All right, let's get into what the ASVAB test day really looks like. The experience can vary a little depending on where you're taking it. Most likely, you'll either take it at a MEPS, which stands for Military Entrance Processing Station, or a MET site, which stands for Military Education and Training. This is usually a more local testing center like a school or community building, but the basics are pretty consistent. First things first, arrive early. Not just on time, early. Recruits say that being even a few minutes late can mean rescheduling your test, and that's not a headache that you want. Some testing centers start check-in as early as 6:30 in the morning, so triple check the time and location with your recruiter the day before. Once you arrive, you'll go through a check-in process. You'll need a valid government-issued photo ID, usually your driver's license or passport. If you're testing at a MEPS site, you may also need paperwork from your recruiter, so don't leave anything to chance. Ask them exactly what to bring. You'll likely also be asked to lock up your personal items: phones, bags, foods, smartwatches, all that. Some places have lockers, others you might have to leave your stuff in a bin or with a staff member. Either way, you won't have access to your things until the test is over. After check-in, there's usually a waiting period. It could be a few minutes or over an hour. Seriously, bring your patience. You'll probably be sitting in a small room with other test takers, and things are usually quiet and very low-key. Some people say this is when the nerves really kick in. One recruit was quoted as saying that the silence made it feel way more intense than it actually was. Just take deep breaths, stay calm, and remind yourself you've prepared for this and you've got this. When your name is called, you'll head into the testing room. For the CAT-ASVAB, the computerized version, you'll sit at a desk with a monitor and headphones. The setup is usually pretty straightforward. You'll get a short tutorial about how the system works, and don't worry, it's pretty user-friendly. But here's the important part. Once you answer the questions and move on, you cannot go back. That trips some people up, so make your best guess, but read carefully before clicking next. If you're taking the paper and pencil version, you'll be handed a test booklet and an answer sheet, and you'll fill in the bubbles the old-fashioned way. Recruits often say that the pacing is a little harder with this version, so if you're taking the practice test, be sure that you've practiced managing time for each section. The test itself is broken down into different subtests: word knowledge, paragraph comprehension, arithmetic reasoning, mechanical comprehension, and more. Each one is timed. For the computer version, the whole thing usually takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours, but you might be at the center longer due to waiting periods and check-in. For the paper test, expect closer to 3 hours total. Don't expect to be able to eat or drink during the test either. Some locations do offer a short break, but it's quick. Just enough time to use the restroom or stretch for a minute. So it's smart to eat a solid breakfast ahead of time and maybe bring a snack to have once you're done. Also, get used to a very controlled environment. You can't talk to the other test takers, and you can't leave your seat unless you get permission. One recruit was quoted as saying that a person got up in their session without asking and was escorted out. So don't be that person. Just follow directions and stay focused. If you're testing in a MEPS, you might go straight into additional processing steps afterwards, like the physical exam. So be prepared to be there for most of the day. If you're testing in a MET site, you'll usually just leave right after the exam and wait for your recruiter to contact you about your score. And speaking of scores, sometimes you'll get your AFQT score immediately after the test, especially with the CAT-ASVAB. Other times you'll have to wait a day or two. Don't stress if you don't get your results right away. Your recruiter will follow up with you as soon as they have your score and start discussing job options from there. So how do you actually get ready for all of this? The key is doing more than just studying the content. You also want to train your brain and body for test day conditions. Start by taking full-length timed practice tests in a quiet environment. Simulate the silence, the time pressure, and the no phone rule. Get your brain used to sitting and focusing for an extended period of time. It's also a good idea to wake up at the same time you'll need to on test day, especially if you're not a morning person. That way your brain is fully awake when it's time to perform. Create a checklist the day before the test. Make sure that your ID is in your wallet, know where the test center is, and how long it'll take to get there. Plan your meals and snacks, lay out your clothes. Even the little things like setting 2 alarms can make a huge difference. And don't underestimate the power of mindset. Go in with confidence, not fear. You don't need to ace every section. You just need to do your best. Remember, this isn't about perfection, it's about potential. The ASVAB is designed to show what you're capable of learning, not just what you already know. And if you're looking for a study partner, Study.com's ASVAB study guide and test prep resources have your back. You can find targeted ASVAB prep that focuses on exactly the kind of material that you'll see on test day. Plus, it's built to fit around your schedule, whether you're cramming before work or reviewing vocab at night. So here's the deal. Passing the ASVAB isn't just about how much you know. It's also about how prepared you are to handle the test day experience. Now you know what to expect when you walk through those doors. You know what to bring, how the test will feel, and how to stay calm and focused when the pressure's on. Don't let nerves or surprises stand in your way. You've got the tools, you've got the strategy, and now you've got the inside scoop on what the test day is really like. If you're serious about getting the job you want in the military, take the next step. Head over to Study.com and check out our ASVAB prep. It's designed to help you walk in ready and walk out with a score that you're proud of. If this video helped you out, give it a thumbs up, drop a comment with any questions or topics you want for us to cover in the future, and don't forget to subscribe for more U.S. military test prep content from Study.com. Stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next video.